Hello, Summoners! I hope you didn't go anywhere because that was a short break. We're now back into the second match between Small Apple and Villains. Small Apple taking out the first win, and now this time they're going to be on the blue team with Villains way over there on the purple team. And casting this tournament is, of course, myself, Smite, and I am casting with Cold Blood.
Hello, Smite. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, almost for the Kiwis. It's getting close. I am from GameStar, and like Smite said, my name is Coldblood. And a big thank you to Crisis, another of the GameStar casters, who is our cameraman for this afternoon, doing a great job, we hope, as we can focus more on what's actually going on rather than making sure we're capturing everything. So, 1-0 up to Small Apple. And they're going to be feeling really good after this game. They have banned out the Zilly and the Maokai and the Jace. Jace definitely fair enough against Pleasy. Morgana, Aurelia, and Alistair have been banned out from Villains, and I definitely agree with the Aurelia ban. And Lucian has been first picked. And we saw OMG Fudges play a fantastic Lucian in the semi-final, so that's a fair enough to take that one away. What are we thinking, Smite?
Well, Dolph's going straight for that Kha'Zix pick, actually. That's really cool because I like Kha'Zix, and he's been coming out into the competitive scene a lot more recently. And interesting is this pickup onto Jinx, because we don't see any of those hyper AD carries banned out. Tristan Cogmore are still available, and even so is Corki. But this time, though, they're opting to go for Jinx instead, and maybe that's just adapting to the Lucian pickup that came up as the first pick.
Yeah, things that can contend in lane with Lucian is Corki, who can match him for damage, and Jinx and Caitlyn, who can have the tools to deal with him, to kind of control him and then return his burst when he closes the gap. And it was like that before when Lucian was strong before. Jinx was one of the only carries who could really deal with him in the lane, and that hasn't changed. So it's a bit of a swapperoonie. Is the Braum still up? It is. So they could go for it if they wanted. Nami and Thresh also available. We'll have to see what they decide to go for. Riven and Vi have been locked in for Small Apple. So with the Riven pick, I'm wondering what could come out at the top here, because Rise is very risky. Yeah, Mundo a lot smarter.
There's a few options for Small Apple right now. They've got 5 seconds to do it, but they could either take away Orianna from the obvious composition that that.
Oh, was that a?
That's Brand. Wow.
I think that may have been a random pick.
Does it even happen anymore? Maybe in custom games, but regardless, they could be going for taking it away from Small Apple, the Orianna, but they're going for Brand instead. It also left Braum open, so they're hovering over Blitzcrank, but I feel like Braum is such a good support to go with Lucian.
Okay, so the Ahri, if this is indeed a Brand being played, very interesting. Pleasy is getting my respect more and more every game, but Ahri would definitely be able to punish that, because if Ahri is against a low to mid-range mage, or just anyone, she can assassinate them very well. Blitz does get locked in, which is very good against the immobile Jinx and Brand. And the Ahri, she'll get to level 6 quickly, and she can get away from those very strong Kha'Zix ganks. Now, for Villains, they do need a support. And like we said, the Braum is available, would be a great pick. Nami would also be awesome with the disengage that she has.
Yeah, and the team composition coming out from Villains, they really need some disengage here. Oh, wow, there goes the lobby.
Yeah, I think that Brand pick may have been a disconnect or something.
Yeah, that sounds right. So we'll be getting back into it as soon as possible. But I just want to take this moment to thank all the people involved in this tournament. Of course, the GameStar casters for coming along and casting for us. But importantly, Aspect of Gaming, namely Theo Martin, Snowy Padre. I know you guys watching at GIGA Cafe, you guys are all there with him, so give him a pat on the back, give him a hug, and tell him what a great job that he's been doing. But we're getting straight back into the game. Silly Mans are coming out just because it's going to be the exact same picks right up until I believe that Brand could have been a placeholder, not sure, but everything should be the same.
Okay, so Rise coming out for the top lane. What about the Mundo? Is this a Rise mid? I think it is. Yeah, so it
Uh,
was a Rise, not a Brand. And the Nami is the one that will get picked against that Blitz. And what
yep.
was the other one? I was Ari, yeah. So Nami and Rise are the last pickups here. So villains are the. Oh, yeah, they did run the Rise last game. I thought it actually did fairly well. That was Dan Dane. Like, I think he did all right. It
Yeah,
really is a hard matchup for him.
it did do all right. Had to deal with the 2v1 at some point, and then tried to engage into fights in the front line when he just hadn't hit that tanky rise stage yet. He was still building up with the Rod of Ages, with the Tears of the Goddess, just wasn't tanky enough just yet. So we'll see if there's a different style of play that may come out from the mid lane, if that's where it's going to be played. But Rise, it was effective, but I feel like it could definitely be improved on in this game. And Ari does get locked in there, so it's going to be interesting against Rise because, like you said, Ari can really do well against those low to mid range mages in the mid lane.
But keeping in mind, Rune Prison really shuts down what she wants to do, and this Flash Ghost Rise, which will probably be what comes out, the Flash and Ghost fantastic on those immobile mages like Xerath, TF, Rise in the mid, is gonna allow him to control Ari when it comes to those all-ins that she likes to do. But the Vi and the Ari combo is really deadly. You see it with the Vi and the assassins in the mid. It's almost a guaranteed kill when the assault and battery is available. You see it with Yasuo, with Zed, and with Ari, Kassadin as well. Maybe not as much him. That the assault and battery does so much damage and is guaranteed lockup that it allows the other mid laner to set up their combo perfectly, which Ari is all about the combo.
Yeah, definitely. Once that combo hits onto Pleasy, is almost no doubt it will be a kill or at least a flash burned. And the fact that he's running Ghost instead of Heal really limits his options to deal with that because Ghost isn't going to get you out of the Assault and Battery any sooner. It might get you a little bit closer to your turret, but you're still going to be hit up by that combo. Now, all the champions, they have been locked in here. And we'll see how each team deals with this because, of course, Small Apple, they took out the win. And there's something about Best of 3 series that can really set certain teams, some of them onto tilt, which
The pressure
can really affect you. Yeah. Yeah, and in a live setting, which a lot of teams are just not used to. Remember, these guys are playing live at the GIGA Internet Cafe in Auckland. And there is a crowd. They're all watching our stream. Hey, guys. You guys
Hi,
are awesome.
friends.
Yeah, so they're all being watched live, and really the pressure can get to you because if you can't perform in front of this crowd in a live setting, especially, it can really get to you and mess up with your gameplay into the next games. But that said, it could also cause Small Apple to be just a little bit overconfident in this game, which we saw was almost a downfall of villains in the first game.
Yes. So, we know that villains like to get aggressive in the enemy jungle. Vsop handled it pretty well on the Vi. Once again, has that one completely different lanes for him, though. The Riven against Mundo is going to be an interesting matchup. Riven's got a window of opportunity where Mundo's very weak at the start, where she can bully him, and then after that, it's going to come down to the timing of the ultimates, the execute, the win slash on the Blade of the Exile versus the health cost of I think it's the sadism or the
It's either sadism or
masochism.
masochism. I always get it
They
mixed up.
changed it when he came out. They swapped them around. I think it's sadism.
It's
Is his ult.
sadism. Yeah.
Or is that his
And
passive? I don't know. Well,
no.
it does 20%.
Sadism is the ultimate, and masochism is just his E.
Ah, right. Okay, what's his passive called then? Eternal. Okay, so it must have been his E and his ult that got swapped. So sadism does 20% of his current HP. If he's low and tries to pop it to get that regen, Riven can execute him, but after that point, Riven has no kill threat after that, and there is no ignite on it. There's an ignite on the Blitz and the Ahri, so we could see a roam out of the Ahri if she hits 6 quickly to try and shut down the Mundo. There's a lot of tower dives that happen on Mundos early on in the game to try and punish them, but Kha'Zix's a strong counter ganker, so it's going to be a real chess game at the start here.
Yeah,
Because
and last
the
time,
late game potential, sorry, the late game potential of our red team is enormous.
yeah,
Absolutely enormous.
yeah, it's actually terrifying. Last game we saw villains initiate a lane swap, and that was against the Cogmore, so they really needed it to pay off huge for that lane swap to be effective, and it just didn't pay off enough for them to propel it into the late game. This time, though, if they go for a lane swap, they'll be shutting down Lucian, who no, not sorry, not shutting down Lucian, leaving him in the 2v1, which generally Lucian deals with 2v2s pretty well anyway. So taking that away from him is definitely a big asset. But importantly, Dr. Mundo can handle it pretty well, especially with teleport. And the big one is you'd be shutting down Riven up in top lane. Because if Riven can't snowball off of kills, it really starts to fall behind, especially in the late game.
Yeah, Riven is kind of like Katarina in the sense that if they don't get a major item before the towers start falling, they struggle to remain relevant.
Yeah, definitely. But now loading into the Rift, and God, the one thing about casting this tournament so far is these computers load faster than mine. So
Yeah,
every time every time we
they
load
are in
into the
so
game,
quick.
every time we load into the game, it's about 40 seconds in, and I think we've even missed like flashes being burned. So hopefully we deal with it this time.
Okay, so the level 1 power from Small Apple on the Blitz is very, very strong. And they've got some really strong level 1s as well. Lucian and Riven both good at level 1. Whereas for our villain side, I mean, Jinx is alright at level 1, Mundo is alright, but apart from that, they don't have a whole. I mean, Kha'Zix is alright as well. It's definitely going to come down to them to defend their jungle because I don't think they'll be aggressing into a Blitzcrank. And yeah, they are going to set up defensively for it. So this is a bit of a change for them in their early game momentum. Is Pleasy going to get a glimpse? I think he saw the Riven there. Does not want to go near to that bush though. The Blitz is on the hunt with the Rocket Grab.
Oh, they get the ward over there. That could have been a moment for a rocket grab, but not going to go for it. They saw the ward in that bush, so they are going to go and get rid of it. Interestingly, going for a scanner on one of their players early on. And it really is going to be the time for risky play to come out from both teams even, because Small Apple, they can afford to. They've already got one win. It's not a huge deal if they lose this game. Of course, they don't want to. Now they're moving down to this bot lane river bush. And also the risky play might come out later on in the team fight phase for villains, just because if they're losing later on, they want to take the risks because they need to stay in this game. But I imagine we're going to be seeing an invade in about 20 seconds.
This is do or die time. Now that ward in the river, I think it will spot the aggressive move, from our Small Apple side. While we're waiting for this invade, we'll go through the teams representing Small Apple 1-0 up in this best of 3 grand final. We have Forever Together on the Riven. AT Blue will be the Lucian as the moves start coming. OMG New on the Blitz, V-Stop on Vi, and Shiv on the RE. And nice dodge there from Insane. Will it save him though? Flashes away, and that will be all she wrote for this maybe. There's no ward down for the red side. There we go. Nice ward from Fudges. And they will get the teleport coming in from Mundo. They're going to try and punish the Small Apples guys. No, Rune Prison isn't available. He's going to throw out the, what is the Q called? The Overload. Has popped the Ghost. A bunch of flashes being popped as well. And they get pushed back. So we have to say the level 1 from villains is always very strong. And Shiv should get away. So unfortunately, no Rune Prison for Pleasy. But in the end, we've got the teleport blown from Mundo, the Ghost from Rise, and the Flash from Nami in exchange for the Flash on Ari, Flash on Vi, teleport on Riven so she could get up to the top. And, I mean, both junglers fairly delayed by that.
Yeah, jungler's going to be delayed, so that's fairly important. Kha'Zix not as affected by it as Vi. Blue taking quite a lot of damage. A few more auto attacks would have got him.
Yeah,
but he's
she
going
started
to get
Assault
away.
Battery, which is terrible at level 1.
Assault and battery.
Oh, sorry, no, Vault.
Yeah, Vault Breaker, which isn't ideal. It's definitely not what you want, but the same thing could have been said for Rise. He started with Overload, which is generally what you start when you go into lane, but if he had Rune Prison, would have got the kill. So a little unfortunate that was the case But these rocket grabs just not on point this time. But that said, Insane and Fudge is really good at dodging them. Oh, the Aqua Prison!
Oh, that was... So we talked about the 2v2 potential of the Lucian, but when you factor in the Tidecaller's Blessing, which hasn't actually been leveled yet, with the range of the Switcheroo, when she's got, what is it, the Fishbones, I think? Yep, Fishbones is the rocket launcher. There's a lot of long-range damage that can come out from this pair, so they're going to bully out this Lucian. They're going to get the 2v2 that they wanted. Mundo and Riven up at the top, going to just be trading against each other. Dane, the window of opportunity for Small Apples to punish him is starting to run out, and Dolphs wants some action up here.
Yeah, and he's coming right up. I don't have a moment to spare to introduce these teams, but here comes the gang.
Oh, nice ward there from Together Forever. Forever Together. There. So representing villains. So I can save Smite some trouble. Pleasey in the mid lane as Rise. OMG Fudges as the Jinx down to the bot, joined by Insane on Nami. Then Dane as the Executioner Mundo at the top. And Dolphs will be the jungle Kazakhs.
Both sides. No clear-cut advantage just yet for anyone. A lot of summoner spells burned, but Lena's still managing to survive. The only big disadvantage was that Lucian being forced out of lane. Dolph's spending a lot of time up in this top lane. Here he comes!
Yeah, Whoever Together is going to go in, try and get Dane down. The flash was not necessary, but maybe able to get away with it. The flash and the passive prop from Kazakhs has the Taste Their Fear up. Can he get the last Void Spike? No, gets dodged. So nice play there by Forever Together. Meanwhile, the bot looks like the rocket grab ended up landing. It will be a trade. Both the supports getting kills on the enemy AD carry, so no real advantage picked up there. Dolphs gets out of the gank from Vsop. And Forever Together, he had a bad start in the last game and still came out massive on the Aurelia. So this is not looking good. But saying that, Chain Vest picked up by Dane, and 100% of Riven's damage is physical. So that armor definitely pays for itself.
Unless he gets Lich Bane. Then he's got some
that would throw me through a loop.
Regardless though, good start over for Forever Together. And at the same time, they managed to pick up a kill down on the bot lane. But once again, Blue did get taken down in the end by Insane. So unfortunately not a kill onto the AD carry, but in the mid lane.
Please, he gets Vault Break it from behind. I was just going to talk about how well the Rise is doing in the CS, and then he gets Vi up the wazoo. No summoner spells blown from him for that one, or from the enemy side. So Shiv is going to help him in catching up. He's actually 100 gold ahead of the Rise at the moment. Dolph's going to pick up some solo lane XP for his troubles. Actually, the Catalyst comes out from Pleasey instead of the tier, to try and survive that all-in that we talked about, the level 6 wombo combo of destruction out of Vi and Ahri. So the Catalyst will give him a little bit of sustain to survive the Orb of Deception harass. Top lane, the ultimate is available for Riven. Dane does not have his, but takes a lot of damage from the creeps, so that may be that opportunity gone.
And as soon as Dan hits level 6, he'll be able to sustain right back up to full health. Doesn't really care about going for the baits just yet, but we see both junglers down in the bot lane, but unfortunately Dolph's spotted out by a ward. Vsop though, still in the dark.
The farming from villains means that even though they're 2 kills down, they are only behind by 400 gold. Insane gonna get jumped on. Vsop coming in. Dandin falls at the top. Double flash out of Insane, and Vsop at the bot means that the fish will live to see another day. But Dane going down at the top, picks up the Warden's Mail and some boots. And now, will this mean a dragon for the villains, because the Vi just ganked at the bot, lost a bit of health? Well, actually, no, never mind. It probably won't be a dragon for them.
Yeah, it's a little bit too risky, the power that's coming out from Blue right now, and rocket grabs can really throw any plans you have completely upside down, so...
Throws a wrench in the works, if you will.
Absolutely. It's too risky to go for a dragon right now, and it would just take too long as well, because only level 5. We're only 8 minutes into the game, so that would take a little while to do. And things are starting...
field day.
Absolutely, he's found Vsop.
Rune Prison's up the Vi. provide Vsauce from coming in. Dolphs is coming in, and he has leveled up the Void Spikes. Pleasey going to get burst down. Vsauce should fall from this one, does indeed. Shiv blows the ultimate, I'm not quite sure why. Maybe to try and catch up to that fight. So the Pleasey going down in exchange for Vsauce. Dolph's going to get some more solo lane farm. And I think the Small Apple's blue team come out ahead in that one because they're starting to shut down Pleasey, but his farm is looking really good against this Ahri.
Well, we see Forever Together roaming down a little bit. He's got the freedom to do that. Or has thrown the ward over at the red buff, looking to go for an invade as soon as Dolphs arrives there. But they know what's going on. They're sending down Dan Yen to help him out. And as soon as Forever Together realizes that, he might back off, but he's going for the kill.
Well, yeah, Sadism is available on the Mundo. He will now pop it. Kazak's coming in. Void Spikes does a 50% slow. It will land. Ahri is nowhere nearby. He's going to try and turn it around onto Dan Dane, but the Wind Slash is not enough. Dolphs almost goes down, but he has some comparable burst to the Exile. And so a bit of over-aggression from Forever Together. Was doing that last game on Aurelia. Doesn't pay out for him this time. Great game sense from Villains. If we remember the last game, I think that happened in reverse, didn't it? Something like that happened in the last game. So
yes, Villains going for an invade, into the jungle, trying to mess up the enemy jungler, but it not quite paying off. And like you said, the reverse happening this time. Although Forever Together, while he may have been taken down, given over some gold to the enemy team, really showcased his power and why he needs to be taken down. Maybe needs to be the focus of some jungler attention by sending Dolphs up there to deal with it, because right now there's no way Dan Dian can fight him 1v1 at all.
Oh, bottom lane, we've got Pleasey coming down. Does not have Ghost, he does have Flash. He's going to run up, do some damage to the Blitz. The Tidal Wave comes out, will knock up some creeps. Pleasey, a little bit of a roam, and Ahri does follow him. And there's no wall for the blue team, so they don't know if the dragon's being started. They're pinging it, and there we go. The dragon will now start. Pink ward is down, so this will be an uncontested dragon. This is problems for Small Apple Smite, because Mundo, Jinx, and Ryze are all very strong late game, and they're not being stopped enough at this point. Insane gets charmed up.
That was a lot of burst onto Insane. Got to be very careful about that. They do pick up the dragon, though. They've got a small gold lead. Things are a little bit even, but most of the gold evening is in that Riven in the top lane. If they can deal with that, take it down, try and get Danjin to survive the laning phase, they can really move into the late game phase where they will excel. They've got the Rise, they've got the Dr. Mundo, they've got the Jinx, like you said before. And all they've got to do is deny that Riven kills.
And she's farming alright, but so is the Mundo. This is such a hard matchup for Mundo early on. And with not having a Giant spell to respect his Cal, his health costs are really sticking to him.
Whoa! Look in the mid lane!
Oh, Pleasey, yeah, there is that assassination that we talked about, Assault and Battery going down. We have Dolphs up at the top, but there is a blue ward, so Forever Together knows that something is amiss. And is this the mid T1 going down? That would really open up the red side jungle for Vsauce to wander around. Dolphs does not get any payoff from his camp at the top. That Siege Minion tanking up so many hits that I think this tower will end up falling.
Although they're getting collapsed on.
Yeah, Insane comes in, nice bubble, will get himself the kill. Nice roam from Small Apple. Meanwhile, Mundo TP's top barely survives Riven as he turns that one around. This is looking really good for Small Apple. 1,000 gold ahead. No towers have gone down. Jinx is out farming the lane bully. This is just looking so good.
Yeah, Villain's really looking nice and steady to move into this late game. We've got Pleasey pushing down that mid lane, but has to be very careful. He knows that there aren't too many enemies that could be sneaking up on him, and there's brilliant ward coverage as well. He's got those wards down on each side of the river, so just has to watch out for Vi, because honestly, Vi has such a massive engage range. Although this Blitzcrank is moving in, but Pleasey, he knows what's going on.
Yeah, he's been out-roamed, the poor Blitzcrank. He's going to drop down a pink and clear out to some of that vision that you were talking about before. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Super Mega Death Rocket comes out, takes down the Lucian, and OMG Fudges gets himself his first kill along with that death and assist he's got. I think he has enough for IE. No, he's only got enough for the crit cloak. And although the late game for villains is all well and good, Small Apple have tools to deal with it. Jinx is not very mobile, and the peel for her, like Nami is good, but there's not a lot you can do against a Vi. And then the pick potential of Ahri is strong. If someone gets picked, Riven will be able to delete them. And, I mean, Blitz, he can miss hooks all game. Speaking of Blitz, he's forced to flash his bottom lane. But a Blitz can miss hooks all game and land that one crucial one 50 minutes into the game, and that wins the game right there. So they can't get overconfident, which was their downfall in the last game, because there are so many tools for the blue side to come back into this.
Yeah, definitely. And just speaking about that Blitzcrank hook, it's so easy to get that one hook that they need, because you get someone like Jinx, in the top lane forever together going hard.
Oh, Dolph gets the rapes and he will flash away. And as we say at the top lane, Dan Dane, he's starting to take control of this lane. So without any help at all, he's doing what we said and shutting down the Riven. 2-1 becomes 2-3. Dolph gets the Wraiths in the end and will flash away to escape with his life. Vsop, not having nearly as good a start as he did in the previous game, going to start doing the one-piece recall. I'm not sure what the character's name is. Jinx already has the Infinity Edge to just the the BF sword, the best friend sword.
Oh, the teleport to top.
Oh, that was an interesting teleport. Just to save the pink ward. The next level.
No, kept it alive. So it's definitely worth in all chat. Now, interesting to note is that Shiv has gone straight for that burst damage build. He's gone right up for Death by Grass, looking to secure kills as early as possible. And that's really important in this composition that doesn't really want it to get to late game. They want to burst people before they start getting tanky, especially that Rise, who does have that period. For half the game, he's not the tank that he becomes in late game. So he's entirely possible to just burst down with Death by Grass. And Dandian, he finally gets that pink ward.
Victory, he shouts as he takes it down. He's got enough for the Randuin. Definitely want to go for the... Oh, actually, I don't know if he wants to go Spirit Visage next. He might want to get another armor item, maybe even a Thornmail. But, no, actually, down in the bottom lane, OMG New going to get jumped on, gets taken down, and now we have the TP coming in from Dandin. Shiv is there. Super Mega Death Rock doesn't do a whole heck of a lot for Blue. I don't think he can escape this one, not with the Rise coming in. Doesn't even get anything for his troubles. Rampage is Dolph who gets killed with the rocket. And Villains are taking control of this one. Dolph gets caught by the charm. That will be him going down. Vsop cannot engage on the Jinx. Now Shiv could end up falling to that Rune Prison. Fudges has to heal to survive that Ahri burst. And this is a massive lead for the late game team.
And Villains need to be very, very careful here, because Dragon's spawning up in 20 seconds. If they recall now, then it's going to be pretty clear that Small Apple are going to rush that Dragon and going to get it. Villains are going to take out this turret. They can move back, look at taking the Dragon, because if they don't do it now, then Small Apple are absolutely going to go grab it, and they're thinking just that.
Mundo pops his ultimate at the top lane. Riven does have hers, but she doesn't want to go all in for it, and there are the pings going onto the Dragon. It's actually a blue ping, so I don't think they can contest this one. At the top lane, Forever Together does not get the burst onto Dandine, and Mundo is reaching his raid boss status as Dragon ends up falling. Rocket Grab will not land, and Villains taking everything across the map. They are 0-1 down, but it's looking like we may reach a game 3 if Blue Team don't pull something out. The tier 1 does go down for them to the minions, which, I mean, the game was looking a lot different before. Could have opened it up for them, but now, with how many defensive pink wards are down from red, they've got control of their side of the jungle and they can aggress into the enemy side. Whereas Small Apples, their warding isn't the most comprehensive. They do have some down.
And Small Apple going for those risky compositions, those risky champions, like Blitzcrank, like that Ahri, just not paying off this time for them. I mean, they're 5,000 gold behind. It's definitely not insurmountable, but really, when you're up against a late game composition, you have to really pull out all the stops to start dealing with them when they start getting ahead, when you're meant to be ahead. And now Vi looking to gank this top lane, and Dandian doesn't love going fight.
Dan Dane should get Assault Battery. No, he holds onto it. Will throw it. He does throw it onto the Mundo in the end, but they're just getting taken down. Dolph's assassinated Shiv. Can he take down Dan Dane? Gets the last hit. Sadism is running, but gets whacked by the Carrot of Riven. Double kill for Forever Together. That will throw some juice into the small apple machine, but meanwhile in the mid, the aggression is going to take down that structure unless AT Blue and OMG New have anything to say about it. And for a bit of a swing.
A little bit of a swing, and exactly what Small Apple needed. They needed to pick up those 2 kills in the top lane, specifically onto Riven, because Riven needs to get ahead, like I said before. And if Forever Together can get through the mid line, get all the way back onto Jinx, then taking him out of the fight, even if Forever Together dies pretty much straight afterwards, will be essential. And it's not entirely impossible. You've just got to get past Dolphs, who's going to be jumping right over your head. Oh, wow. Fudge is running around very, very close to this Riven. That's risky. Oh no, he's gonna die.
Oh dear. Yeah, there's the ultimate down. Flash and the Zap. He's gonna try and turn it around and does. Wind Slash misses, and gee, there you go. Challenger mechanics, ladies and gentlemen. As teammate picked up by the Riven, and just like that, the T1 at top should be going down.
I'm so sorry, Forever Together. I jinxed it.
Yeah, the caster kiss of death. Assault and Battery used at the top on Dan Dane. He does not give any cares in the world. I was going to say something else there, but he has not a care in the world. As, yeah, okay, so villains looking like they have an answer to this comp. So it seems whoever goes late game is going to win.
Yeah, it's seeming like that as well, but that said, villains have been doing well from the start here, looking to really propel themselves to the late game. They've got towers all across the map, just need to open up that mid lane turret, and then the small apple side of the map is there.
Top lane, we've got, yeah, Fudges, he can't escape an Ari and a Riven. A lot of damage goes down onto Shiv, but I don't think Dan Dane can do much. I don't know if they can kill him too. Oh, the Wind Slash was still available. Meanwhile, Lucian falls at the bottom part of the river. Blitzcrank beep booping around is going to probably escape. We've got the pause coming out. No time.
That's alright. This match has been moving so quickly that we really need to just take a deep breath and have a look at what's going on. We've seen a little bit of retaliation to Dan Dien's dominance in the top lane. He's been pushing down as hard as he can, really, and he's been punished for it. We've seen Vsop come up and help out a few times, and at the same time Shiv has come up as well, and they've really been shutting down the Mundo and trying to help Riven get into that late game snowbally champion that he really, really wants to be. But it has been swinging back and forth because you see Forever Together do the same thing. He pushes up too far, thinks he can go for a 1v1, can't even 1v1 Fudges right now.
Interesting, we've got Taste Their Fear leveled up on evolved rather than the wings. You normally see the wings either first or second on Kha'Zix. It means he wants to take down whoever is isolated, which, I mean, the blue team do have a lot of roamers and picks, so if he jumps on the Ahri or the Riven, they're not going to be living for very long. Got to keep in mind Riven has a skill that scales off of her AD, the Valor, which does get very, very strong and gets a very cooldown as well. Baron Ward goes down from Forever Together. The warding from both teams is phenomenal. As Jinx, we've got the Bloodthirster coming out next. I believe Lucian still working on the second item. What other thresholds have we got? We've got Pleasy. Oh, Assault and Battery will be used just as the recall is about to go off. Nice bubble comes out of Insane, and the exhaust onto Blue. Tickle Cannon will do some tickling for Nami. Mega Inferno Death Rocket will not do much at all. How much has he got on him?
Mega Inferno Death Rocket. I know getting mixed up by that.
Honestly,
Mega Inferno Bomb is the
Mega Inferno Bomb and Super Mega Death Rocket, but we don't care about that at all, as Dan Dien and Forever Together, they're going in with each other.
Forever Together pops the ultimate. Can she burst down the Mundo? I don't think she can. Relentless, she does a little bit more. Jeez Louise, there we go. Finally goes down. Hex Drinker, I think, saved her from that burning agony damage. And Jesus, top lane has been wishy-washy.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking about the aggressive junglers that come out from the New Zealand scene. This game, it's 100% these top laners. They are fighting as
Junglers
much as
are trying to keep up.
The junglers are trying to come up and help, but the top laners are dead by the time they get there. Oh, it's just, and it's especially surprising when it's a Dr. Mundo is involved in that, because you don't normally see a Mundo either die or get a kill, because by the time it looks like Mundo is going to die, he can normally just run away. But Dan Yen doesn't have any of that, because Demacia never retreats.
Never surrenders. I think that's the spot.
Is that it?
Never retreat, never surrender. That's in 300.
No. The Zin quote. Demacian does not retreat.
Yep, that's it. They probably don't surrender. Oh, actually, they may surrender if it's tactical to do so. Oh, nice steal from Vsop. He gets it. He does have flash in a second. Goes in the assault battery. He will survive with 2 after locking up. Pleasing forever together. Should get taken down. Cannot throw out the wind slash. Dragon goes the side of Small Apple, but villains take the kills, and they need to go for the jugular with this one. I can't believe Vsop got out of that. That was outrageous. His flash came up just as the Rune Prison ended. Like, it had seconds left.
Yeah, that is crazy, but they are going to take down this mid lane turret, and really, I feel like they can go for Baron here, because they've got Dr. Mundo to tank it up, and most of Small Apple have been either killed or sent back to base and are just respawning now. Small Apple likely know what's going on, but villains, they've left a trail of wards, so any kind of counter Baron is going to be spotted immediately, but there's no way they can get there in time.
No, the damage from Jinx is just ridiculous with that minigun, and there's no ultimates available. I think that was a flash out of Vi. May have been, but no, sorry, she flashed out of the Dragon Pit, but she does go down. She's not very tanky at all with that Brutalizer. As Revan gonna try and come over the wall? No, she throws out the Wind Slash, does almost nothing. The Rune Prison will go on her. She's locked in midair. The Zap comes out as well. Can she flash over the wall? Last rocket from Jinx.
Oh!
Mega Death Rocket barely misses, but now Mundo goes where he pleases, comes in, and that will be the kill going over to him as well. And then the kill secure comes from Jinx. The bloodshed continuing for Small Apples. They are almost 10,000 gold in lead. Synchronized recall coming out as Jinx bounces around on a rocket launcher. And it looks like mid lane may be next for them as Shiv shoves that one up. The 1 for 4 surrender vote coming from our blue team. Bloodthirst on Jinx to make it even harder to be assassinated by the Ahri. And this may be all she wrote for this game if villains play this properly.
And villains, so far, haven't shown any signs of not playing it properly. Unlike the first game, not getting too overconfident, not going too hard anywhere that they need to, and making calculated calls, especially under pressure. That Dragon, they lost it, but they knew to turn around, win the fight, do what they've been doing the whole game, and they managed to push that into a Baron, and getting Vision all along the way really helped them connect that Baron kill. And then the Vision also allowed them to turn around and stop the counter Baron and even get a few kills out of it. And they're still going for more.
Oh, Vsop gets interrupted on the ball break. He's going to throw around with the assault battery, gets the shield. Pleasy gets pulled over the wall. May not have been the best choice for Blitz, and now the rest of villains coming in. The culling not going to do a whole heck of a lot. Ribbon manages to take down Kha'Zix. Dan Dane is just tanking the heck out of Small Apple. Double kill for Jinx. Shiv is getting locked down by the Cleaver. Blues trying to relentless pursuit away, but it is not relentless enough. Triple kill for OMG Fudges, and that may be what that may be the end of the game.
That may be, but still only 27 minutes into the game, so these guys are not dead for very long. So looks like villains are going to go for the safe option of taking down an extra inhibitor, or at least its turret. If they stay around for the inhibitor, that's risky, but it might pay off.
Well, there's no cooldowns up, only Blitzcrank ults is up, so they can fairly easily take this one. They will leave the base of Small Apple in shambles. Nothing's up for them to really grab apart from their own red buff, so they will recall. Got 2,000 gold on a couple of members, including the Jinx. Should be able to get her last Whisper with that one. And Rise now has the Frozen Heart. So it's there's the options of our blue team really coming down to either a pick onto the Jinx or a lucky rocket grab that's not the Rise, because pulling Rise into your team can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah, the problem is it has to be Jinx. You can't pull anyone else. You pull Dolph, so he just leaps out if you can. And obviously Dr. Mundo is a bad idea no matter
Yeah,
what.
no, that's a terrible idea. Pulling him in.
Yeah. So really, it's got to be Jinx, but Fudge's all he's got to do is sit back behind his backline, and you're impossible to grab. And now villains.
That's
gonna
numbers.
be.
They're like, what the heck?
Wow, they're going to be absolutely ecstatic with that. They can't even kill the wards. Oh no, they do get them all.
The sweep almost didn't last long enough. Wow, the
but now,
second item just got finished for blue now.
oh wow, that is so far behind, and that's also surprising to see for someone with 200 farm. Now they're going to go for this turret, and this is exactly the right plan, right? Because there's super minions pushing in the mid lane and the bot lane, and all they've got to do is siege up this tower, and the moment that someone steps away to deal with these super minions, they go in for the 4v5. And they're going it now!
They're gonna wait, they're gonna go straight in. OMG, new mana barrier may save him. Super Mega Death Rocket gets absorbed by Vsop. Assault and Battery comes in defensively. Riven tries to stun up the Mundo, has her ultimate pop. Shiv lands no charm, and that will be Small Apples pushed off of their tier 3. Wind Slash does almost nothing. The super minions pouring in through the mid. They will now be in all lanes, and remember their damage aura stacks with the other super minions. OMG New gets assassinated. Shiv will be soon to follow. The resets coming out for Kha'Zix has reached his 3rd evolution. Riven does not survive thanks to the bouncing spell flux, and we will be going to a game 3, Smite.
That's absolutely right. Both teams showing that they've got something to prove, and just absolute powerhouses. There's the Nexus that's going to be taken out, and you're absolutely right. Moving into a 3rd game, everything is on the line for both teams right now. Remember, the winner moves on to the road to glory, the qualifying tournament into the Oceanic Regional Finals, and the loser gets nothing.
Okay, this is do or die for both teams. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gents. We will be back with hopefully explosive game 3. This is Cold Blood and Smite and Crisis signing out.